Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis and welcome back to another video. So today is the day we're going to be changing out the Radion Xr15 Gen 4 Pros. If you guys are wondering why this is happening, check out my previous video where I did an experiment between the Nycrew Hyper Reef 150s and the AP700. And I did an experiment between 6 months worth of growth on one coral, which is a Jason Fox Limelight Hydrophora. And during that experiment, I actually went over and checked out the same coral that I have here in the 300, and it actually showed the exact same coloration as the Nycrew Hyper Reef. So, because I do have some Kessils on hand that were on the tub, I have 2 AP9Xs and 4 A360Xs, I decided to go ahead and kind of make the switch over to Kessils to see if it will make a difference to the coloration and growth on the 300. So that's really where this video is coming from and where the change is coming from. So for some of you who are wondering, hey, why are you even making this change when you did an experiment on a totally different light that had nothing to do with the Radions? It's really because I have the exact same coloration that I'm getting from the Nycrews, and I want to change it up for the Kessils. On top of that, I had a previous video just a couple days before where another power supply died, and as you guys know, I burned through 7 of these XR15s over the last couple years, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of done with them. I don't want to be a jerk, I'll leave it at that. I'm just kind of done with the customer service. I'm kind of done with you know, just the fact that they keep dying. It's just not something I want to deal with anymore. And with that being said, Kessel has always been very good to me. The customer service is always great, and the coloration, not only in the corals that I have on this 40-gallon NEM tank, just the coloration on the soft corals and the LPS in there are amazing, but also on the frag tank with the AP700. I know it's really blue, but the coloration and growth is really, really good in that tank. So we're going to go ahead and make the switch after what? How many years it's been? I set this tank up in 2017, so it's been a while. And yeah, so just before we get started, I want to let you know we are going to keep the T5s. Again, I know it's super blue. We're going to keep the T5s and the Reef Bright strips just as supplemental lighting. Hopefully, with the Kessils, we'll have a lot less shading between the bracing. And of course, the shimmer is always something that I really, really enjoy. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get at it. First things first, I have to clean up these. A little dusty. Everything's dusty. It's been sitting for a little while. We are going to utilize the dongle. I'll show you guys the programming, everything through the dongle, just like I always do. We're going to do the K-Link cable between all the lights, use the dongle, give you guys the settings, and I'm probably just going to max them out like I did before, because right now, wattage-wise, we're pretty close. These are almost the exact same wattage of the 8 XR15s. So wattage-wise, we're pretty much going to be the same. I know that I originally wanted to go over to the 500X. I was going to put 4 of them on this tank, but given that the wattage is pretty much the same, I already have these lights, so I don't really have to spend any money. We can see if we can get the benefit of the Kessils with the current wattage, and it'll be a good side-by-side comparison between the Radions too. So this will be kind of like a part 1. And I will do an update in probably 2 or 3 months, and we should get a pretty good idea of the coloration, growth, and changes within this tank. And yeah, so I will try to get some footage with my other camera without the blue, so you guys can get an idea of what the tank and the corals actually look like right now. Probably do a little bit of overlay with that, and then we'll come back in a few months and see how these Kessils work out. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the process. It should be relatively easy. I'm going to utilize the board there where I keep the power supplies. We got our stuff over here ready to go. Running the cables. Going to utilize the exact same mounts that are currently on the XR15s. I should have enough for our current lighting, or for our new lighting. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start cleaning, put the lights on there, and it should only take a few minutes, hopefully. Cross your fingers. I hope it takes a few minutes. Anyways, that's it, guys. We'll be back in a second. what's up guys, welcome back. So went ahead and finished taking off the XR15s and setting up the Kessils with the brackets. I'll show you guys that here in a second, but this is what the tank looks like with the supplemental lighting, which is 4 actinic bulbs, 4 blue plus, and 2 Reef bright strips. It definitely fills in a lot of the shading and a lot of the gaps in the tank. Not enough to grow any coral, at least not to the extent that I want, but it does look pretty decent without it. So let's go ahead and move over to the setup here. Now, I did use these bolts that are, or these nuts that were on the original Kessel or Radions. When I pulled one out, I actually ended up pulling out one of the cables here. It was stuck behind the tank, so I'll have to look at that and see if it still works, but all of them work. I just have to see how that impacted it. But worst case scenario, I lost the light, right? So when it comes to the setup here, I actually, like I said, I used the original nuts on the A360Xs. They're here in the center. Now I wanted to use the brackets in a way that I could still keep the K-Link ports open, because that's how we're going to connect all these to the dongle there. So that worked out pretty good. What I'll do is once they're in place, I'll come through with the pliers and tighten those down, but that's not going anywhere. Now when it comes to the AP9Xs, same brackets, but I did have to use some of my screws that I use for the night cruise, those mounts that I make for the night cruise and AP700s, the 3D printed mounts. So same screws, here's the specs on those, and that worked pretty well. Same thing, when I get in there, I'll come in with an Allen that will fit in the canopy there and tighten those down once they're in place in the fixture there. So now it's just time to go over and put everything in, connect it, and we'll be back and I'll show you guys what the tank looks like. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back. So I just finished installing the Kessils, setting up the Wi-Fi dongle, cable management, all that good stuff. Took about 45 minutes, which isn't too bad considering everything I needed to do. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Now I will put a screenshot of the current settings, and I might make them a little less white, a little bit more blue, just because it's better. It looks better to me. Right now it seems kind of washed out. I know you can't really tell on the camera. It seems a little washed out, but yeah, really happy with it. And let's go ahead and check out the look. We have the A360Xs on the side here, which actually worked out really well because a lot of the light was splashing over onto the canopy there. So I was able to bring them in and kind of focus a lot of that light on the rock structure, which is really nice. Of course, put the AP9Xs in the middle, both sides there. And then, of course, the A360Xs on the other side. Same concept, brought it over to kind of cover the majority of that rock structure. Now, they are at 100% intensity. Again, you guys can see that in the screenshot there. And looks pretty good. I definitely like the shimmer. It's pretty similar to what it was before with the Radions, like kind of brightness-wise and kind of the way it looks. But there is the shimmer, which is really nice. So, basically, this is, like I said, part 1 of this whole series. We'll come back in a couple months. Of course, you guys, I'll make videos in between, then you guys will see the tank change. But we will do a side-by-side comparison of kind of what the corals look like now that it's day 1 with the Kessils. And yeah, overall, really like the shimmer. It's just a new, different look. Other than the fact that it's a little washed out, a little whiter than I would like it to be. And we'll make that adjustment later with the app. So, outside of that, guys, that's it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to support the channel, head over to fishofhex.com, as of course there's a ton of stuff going on there. And yes, I will get the video out for the Oscars soon. I know I've been talking about it for a little bit, but he's going through some medication right now, and the tank is not the greatest because of the medication. So gonna let it kind of settle in, get him a little bit healthier, then we'll come back with an update video on that. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. All right, peace.